Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where this is definitely going to continue to be a little bit rough on the economy. There's no doubt about that. I did a little bit of back-of-the-envelope math and looked at the amount that we are currently spending on starbases plus, or rather on buildings plus districts, sorry, not starbases, and that's a little bit over 100. So we expect our energy credits to go up by about 10 once we get our next tradition. And combine that with this over here and all the energy credits available there, that'll help us for now. As we continue to grow, we're going to struggle in some of those areas. We've definitely got some economic woes going on. I'm not going to lie to you about that, but I feel like we're in a quasi-manageable state. Now, I do want to sell off a little bit of our minerals, and we'll buy in some food so that we can go a little while. We do need to find ourselves a good agricultural world. Now, Canopus Secundus could theoretically be one. It does have this atmospheric hallucinogen, which is nice. Technically, that's even better than the modifier on Canopus Prime, which would almost be better as a energy credit world, which is a theoretical possibility. We could get that right now and transition these later. I really do want to get some science worlds going, though. I feel like our research is slowing, and I'm not a huge fan of that, so we'll definitely need to do something about that. That is for sure. But for now, we'll continue ticking forward and grabbing some systems over here. And we actually just ticked up to the amount of influence that we need to grab Sabik. Now, this isn't amazing in terms of the energy credits, but it'll do. It'll do. Actually, we just went down to minus 12. Did we just fill in that technician job over here? Or one of those technician jobs? I believe we did. Excellent. Well, that actually has a pretty big effect on the landscape, the fact that there's a technician job that is still available here. When are we going to have a growth? We just recently had one. Okay. We've found these guys. They are fanatic authoritarian pacifists. We'll praise the divine for the meeting. Where are they? They are over here. They are not currently relevant to us. Despite the seemingly frozen surface of Drisk 4, the planet's orbital path around Drisk leaves it blistering at several hundred degrees. Under normal circumstances, this would sublimate the ice on Drisk 4's surface. However, extreme gravitational pressure exerted by the planet's ultra-dense core keeps the water in a solid state, resulting in a planet of fiery hot ice. That's pretty neat, actually. I like that. That is some good flavor right there. Our consumer goods actually we're doing better on all sides of the economy now all of a sudden. Interesting. I think we just had a reshuffling of jobs that were getting done. I'm pretty sure that's all that is. Now, we should probably invest in a mining district on Sredma. We are definitely going to be needing a couple more jobs. We can do that. That'll put us up to five housings available. And then we can grab a city district for another 5 housing. That'll get us 3 jobs. And we'll have to do something about that once we get a little bit closer to getting our next building slot there. But for now, it should be reasonably okay. On the surface of IL-906 sits what appears to be a large machine of unknown origin and purpose. We'll go ahead and check into that. We've also necrophaged some pops on Canopus Prime. Wonderful. Mineral purification hubs are now available. Minerals from miners. We are absolutely grabbing that. I would love to grab alloy megaforges, but as of right now, we'll get it eventually. Okay. We should have that next tradition coming in very soon. Yes, indeed, in 2 months. We necrophaged some pops on Sredma. That's fine. Now, you can see here on Sredma that we currently have 2 available jobs, but we have 2 unemployed workers. Oh, I see, because they are supposed to be... They were previously necrophytes. And they can't work necrophyte jobs anymore. Right. That's okay, we'll have the mining district done in 66 days. That will give them 2 jobs. The broken remains of 2 Cybrix warforms have been discovered in orbit around Xania 2. They appear to have been destroyed in battle, but no debris from their adversary has been found. Either they were badly outmatched, or there's more to this engagement than it seems. Well, we'll look into that for sure. I'm very interested in seeing... Actually, there's multiple signs of Cybrix activity. There's one over here, which we should probably... We'll research that, and then we'll research that, and then we will come back over here and research this skill 10 anomaly. It's going to be a bit rough. It's going to take some time, but I want to get it done before we start having some of our scientists die off. Now, I want to get our mining and research stations online over here. This 2 energy credits, unfortunately, is going to be a wash. Actually, we're going to be going net negative in energy in this system. Okay.
A system survey has concluded.
I guess that's reasonably fine. Let's check in on our civilian ships. That all looks okay for now. Okay. Several spacefaring empires, some of them unknown to us, have banded together to form a galactic community. This supranational institution is to serve as a forum where important matters can be discussed. Although we were not involved in its founding, the other members have extended an invitation to the Grim Council for formal membership. Should we accept? Thinking. So, pros and cons here. And I'm not talking about in terms of game mechanics. This decision will purely be based on the role-playing that we're doing here. So we believe that we need to eliminate life in the universe to protect the universe from life, correct? So it seems to me that for the time being, because we are not currently capable of eliminating the life, the best way to protect the universe from life is to join the community, wherein we will have a voice, being able to protest various things like, you know, destroying environments and such. I think we join this. Okay. We are in. Because I think that's what this race would end up doing in the end. Further scans suggest the machine is still operational, though its purpose remains entirely unclear. Science Officer Diozan has never seen anything like it. Some of its materials look familiar, but most are strange and utterly alien, as the design of its components. The machine has what appears to be a console, with one item in particular standing out: a large crooked lever of unknown material. We're going to pull the lever. What could possibly go wrong? As our scientist pulled the lever, the machine emitted a huge blast of energy that multiplied in shockwaves, twisting and rippling through the void, tearing open a wormhole in Wasat. After the residuous energy diffused, the wormhole and the immediate area around it settled, and now appear to be stable enough for safe passage. As for what awaits us on the other side, our scientists are not so sure. The machine itself has since returned to its inactive state and no longer gives off any anomalous readings. +7 physics research over there. That's what we go for, obviously. And where is that wormhole? Let's see, where are you? Okay, that's in Drisk. At least I think. Regardless, we can build a structure on Canopus Secundus. Now is the time when we need to decide if this is actually going to be a tech world or not. I'm sorry, Canopus Secundus. I think we can't afford it. I think this has to be an agri-world. And we will go ahead and do that. Excellent. Also, what did I misclick there? Oh, that's interesting. Apparently in the Stellaris font, that's what a backslash looks like. Exciting. Okay. Good to know. So, in that case, we should probably think about just putting in a hydroponics farm. We don't have the structure that gives us a % increase to our food output, so we can just do this. That will give us 2 jobs and produce 12 total food. We're going to be a little short on housing, but that's okay. And I think we'll just have this world continue to be a science world, just because, I mean, it could be a generator world. We could have a different science world entirely. Actually, this world wouldn't be a terrible one. It has a lot of potential city districts, and it doesn't have great other districts, no real modifiers. So that may be our best bet. Okay. We've got some people closing borders to us. I don't care. Hey, we can grab that tradition. So we're going to grab this building and district upkeep. That will actually get us really close to being a net positive on our energy credits, which is a huge deal. So once this month tick happens, look at that, only -2. And we're at 0.06 consumer goods. Things are looking up. Sensors pick up unexpected activity from an isolated point on Sinistra 7A's frozen surface. Excellent. Our food is in a better situation, but it's not great. Energy credits from technicians should, on the next month tick, put us significantly positive. We're slightly positive right now. Improved deflectors, colony development speed. We may want to just grab blue lasers as a quasi-reroll here. There's nothing amazingly good there. Okay, how are we doing over here? That's fine. We do see that there are the life tree protectors up there. The readings originate from a small research outpost, which the Grim Council has no records of establishing, or indeed authorizing, on the surface of Sinistra 7A. It's staffed by one Grim scientist, a fairly talented and industrious one if their research on Sinistra 7A is anything to go by. There's a problem with regards to their identity, however. We've been unable to match them against official state records, and they refuse to identify themselves, save for stating that they are an exile. They've expressed an interest in returning to Azure Chalice and serving the Grim Council directly, on the condition that the GCS Cracked Misfortune immediately depart Sinistra 7A and no Grim ships ever return there. So we can search it for 350 physics research. I mean, that's a good amount of physics research. We don't need a scientist, and we can always recruit one. We're just going to take it apart. We just lost our nanite actuators, and we should probably re-up that. How many nanites do we have right now? We have 305. Okay, so we can keep this going for a while. Excellent. There's nothing unusual about the research outpost itself. It is little but a temporary shelter erected against the savage elements, allowing surface-level planetary study for a limited time before it wears down and conditions become untenable. The outpost on Sinistra 7A is nearing the end of its lifespan, but the planet's intense chill has yet to critically degrade the impermanent structure. The equipment, functional, cheap, intended to be abandoned, is well used, and the local databanks are filled with detailed but ultimately mundane accounts of the planet, as well as the simple experiments that were carried out in its harsh environment. Curiously, no closer examination seems to have been made of the mineral outcropping the outpost's foundations rest on. Scans by the GCS Cracked Misfortune indicate that the geological formation, a mountain mostly buried under ice, may be partially hollow. More alarmingly, Science Officer Chardon reports that the sole inhabitant of the outpost, the mysterious exile, has gone missing and is nowhere to be found. Okay. Well, we should definitely get in some food. There's no doubt about that. So we'll just buy in, say, 400 food for now, while we wait for Canopus Prime here. This is currently set up as Nagra World. That's an automatic selection. While we wait for Canopus Secundus here to really get going. Hey! After studying the wreckage of the two Cybrex warforms over Xania 2, Science Officer Gon has concluded that they were most likely destroyed while fighting each other. This theory explains the lack of non-Cybrex debris, and it fits the damage patterns found on the wrecks. Why the two Cybrex vessels turned on each other remains a mystery, however. After they were immobilized, both warforms triggered some kind of self-destruct mechanism that fried their neural processors. Okay. There's another Cybrex special project finished up. Wonderful. So that means that we're going to have 5 of 6 here. Fascinating. And the 6th could very well be one of these over here. This anomaly or this anomaly. Very easily it could be either of them. This construction ship is nearly to Haribus, which is good for us. We will be able to, of course, grab these 7 energy credits, these 4 energy credits, but we're doing okay on energy credits for right now. Things are looking up economically. We are eventually going to want to change around some of our economy, I'm sure, but for right now, this is looking reasonably okay. Now, as far as these life tree protectors go, oh, hello. Due to a major clerical error, parts of Batrac Prime have fallen behind in infrastructure maintenance and accommodation services. People live in rather bleak conditions and will not tolerate it for long. So, this is 2 tile blockers on Batrac Prime. I mean, we already had many tile blockers on here. This is not currently an issue. It will become an issue later, but that's fine. Well, we've met the Nurian Ancients. Ones! How delightful! We hadn't expected to encounter you for a few centuries yet. Personally, I thought you would wipe yourselves out long before leaving your gravity well, but I'm glad to be proven wrong. Okay, so we met a fallen empire. We've met quite a few, actually. Quite a few... Ah, they're over here. It just didn't fully update. Okay. Well, that is definitely interesting. There we go. Now it updated. Well, that tells us that we're not going to be expanding over that way too much more. Good to know. Now, the question is, can we go up here without these life tree protectors attacking us? I'd be a little surprised, and 1.1k is a bit much for us right now. That said, we do have 725 alloys currently. So we could potentially look at attacking them, but that would take some time to build up the fleet for it. And our fleet is currently dealing with piracy over here. So that's the thing. Hello, necrophages on Canopus Secundus. Wonderful. How go our pop growth? Okay, it's going fine. This necrophyte should be grown relatively soon. These marauders are, you know, asking for protection money. 2,000 minerals? I mean, I honestly don't care about the minerals. It's fine. The Kroll are becoming more militaristic. That's good. It's exactly what we want. And if we're going to create more ships, we should probably create a new fleet. Now, this is supposed to have 16 and 8. And I'm actually okay with that ratio. 13, 14, 15, 16, and that's 7. Ah, this is 32 out of 30. Fair enough. Okay, so this would be a total of 5843 to reinforce both of these fleets. Now, I'm actually going to take this down to be 7 and 0. So this is actually 3338 that this is going to take. So that's a fair amount, but it'll also take some time to get that done. Now we do have a naval cap of 20. So there's that. So we really can't afford to get this full up. We have 13 available right now, so we would want this to be something like probably 3 and 6. Because this would be a total of 12, so this would be what we'd want. 1448 is a little bit more like it. Now, I do want to get these mining and research stations built over here. And the question then is, if we're not able to expand past these life tree protectors for now, until we get that fleet done, where are we best off expanding next? And I think the answer is Tagira. So once we're done here, we will come back over here and build a starbase. It'll take some time to get there, but that will be just fine. The only thing we're short on right now is food, so that's absolutely fine. The scorching heat of Sojima 3 is within the expected range. However, there is more unusual data still being collected by our team. Further study is needed. Do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our shipyard, or rather get our fleet reinforcing. And it's probably not going to be called New Fleet, ideally, but we'll just go ahead and queue that up. And then by the time this finishes here, hopefully we'll have enough alloys. We're at 80% though, so I don't know. This order may get interrupted. We'll just move here if we're not able to build. Okay, so it looks like we just barely got enough. Perfect. This construction ship over here is still going. The sand dunes of Sojima 3 are treacherous indeed. The fine-grained sands run almost like a liquid, making most landings an ordeal beyond measure. However, our brilliant science team has found a solution thanks to some innovative thinking. A chemical solution, fabricated by Science Officer Teozen, can be used to bind the sand in key locations, making the planet easier to traverse. Splendid. Okay, that's fine. We do like that physics bump. Okay, so we are currently going to run out of food. In fact, we are out of food. I'm going to sell off some volatile motes, and we're going to use that to buy in 1,000 food. That'll keep us going for a while we're able to start working on getting Canopus Secundus online. And of course, we're working on Sredma as well. Okay, where was that anomaly? I clicked through it. It must have been this one. Yes. Go ahead and research that. Wonderful. That'll be absolutely fine. And we're just going to slowly work on filling in some of this space and collecting these resources. Having decrypted the signal, Chardon was astonished to discover it was broadcasting an archaic form of one of the main Grim One languages. Speaking in these, thous, and whenceforths, it appears to be reciting one of the lost works of Vlammen, a renowned Grim One playwright who lived some 600 years ago. It appears that the broadcasting device, a simple satellite dish protected by a small shelter, is the only non-natural structure on planet. There's no hint as to who left it there or why, but going by the wear and tear on evidence, it must have been there since shortly after the play was first written, long before the ones learned the secret of space travel. We can only assume it was left there by ancient visitors to Azure Chalice who took a liking to the play, and decided to pay our species a strange and unexpected tribute. I mean, are we that superior? 1,000 unity, okay. 1,000 unity or 60 months of 15% increased unity and 10% happiness. We're not going to calculate the happiness for now, that's a little bit more difficult, but we're making 89 unity per month. Time to fire up a calculator. So, 89 times 0.15 is 13.35 unity per month. Multiply that by 60 months, that's 801 unity. So this is slightly more unity. But I think 10% happiness for 5 years is 100% worth 199 unity. Yeah, I absolutely think so. 199 unity for that. Yeah, look at that. So much better on the consumer goods even. I mean, even the food is doing slightly better. The energy credits have gone down a little bit, but that's to be expected. Ah, this anomaly is a very difficult one. We're going to leave that be for now. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, but we are doing so much better now economically that I feel like this has been a really fruitful episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I'll see you all next time as we continue filling in these gaps and beginning our ascendancy.